The handgun is a staple of the survival horror genre. They're most often the first weapon you will get and the best one you can have. If the shotgun came to use the best weapon, I don't blame you at all. When the zombie apocalypse comes, and it is coming, I will be the first person to wish I had a shotgun, because I'm in the UK where we'll all be fighting over cricket bats. Shotguns are guaranteed to deal with the big threats, and the closer those threats are, the better. But the reason we all love shotguns is that they go against the idea of survival horror, while the handgun was made for it. This is why handguns are the perfect fit for survival horror and why you should be using them more. When you start a survival horror game, what are your initial expectations? If you picked up Resident Evil 4 or its slightly malnourished little brother, Evil Within, you expect to be scared, and you expect to fight monsters that represent humans in some way. You may not hope it, but you certainly expect to be attacked in unfair ways and try to walk that enjoyable line of panicked actions while somehow staying alive. In order for you to be fearful, you must feel like you're at an inherent disadvantage. In most survival horrors, you don't play the role of a veteran monster killer who knows what to expect. You start lightly armed if armed at all, and any weapons you do receive came out of God's good graces. Now, do you remember when you picked that shotgun up off the wall in Resident Evil 4, right after the game announced a man with a chainsaw was coming for you? What did you feel? Relief, excitement, and a shift of power from the world to you? Respectfully, fuck that. Maybe it's the Soulsborne Elysis in me, but to me that doesn't exactly sound fair. You have a perfectly good weapon on you already. A versatile, reliable piece that fits snug in your hand. Sure, it doesn't do the most damage, have the biggest mag, or the longest range, but it does have the best variable range, a solid ammo capacity, a solid rate of fire, and very little downtime. It almost always rewards precision shots. Survival for me is not about what you're given, it's how you apply the tools you have. Now at this point it looks like I'm vying for a limited experience instead of the fun of variety, and that's not completely incorrect. With the variety of weapon types, it becomes a game of rock, paper, scissors, and pistol. Enemy too close, shotgun. Enemy too far, sniper rifle. Enemy too beefy, explosives. Enemy not a threat, handgun. The issue I have with this is that you're provided with all the answers to your problems. Clarity is the enemy of horror, so to solve any challenge with bigger damage numbers just doesn't feel right. There's something really enjoyable about using one tool to solve many problems by changing its application. No, I'm fully aware this is not the most popular opinion, but if you've played Sekiro, then you know that there is a kind of creativity in a limited toolset. It was by sticking it out with one tool, I learned how versatile it was, and I was able to make any situation work by changing my approach, not my gear. This approach is already viable in a lot of survival horrors out there. The handgun in Resident Evil 4 has plentiful ammo, and by aiming well can have a variety of uses. Headshots stun most common mobs, shots to the leg can trip, and sickles can be shot out of the air, just to name a few. Not even mentioning all the ways melee attacks responds to the type of stun you inflict. The plasma cutter in Dead Space has the best aiming mechanic in a horror game period. Letting you rotate the barrel gives you another level of accuracy to consider. I love that the second-to-second choices I make affect my chance of survival. It makes me feel personally responsible for my success. It's all well and good accepting handguns have thematic and mechanical uses in survival horror, but ultimately any feature is pointless if at the end of the day you don't think they're fun. But I didn't spend weeks making a video on how much I love handguns because I think they're boring. In Bioshock, the revolver does 4 times damage to a headshot on any splicer. It is also extremely accurate, making it your sniper rifle for most of the game. On Resident Evil 4, the starting handgun in its final form has a 5 times crit rate. This means a stunning majority of times you can insta-kill targets. But in the case you don't, this is a pistol. It has plentiful ammo and decent capacity, so you can just keep firing away until the crit very quickly happens. If relying on crits isn't your thing, may I introduce you to the Red 9. For starters, it's a goddamn Mauser, and there is just something cool about Mausers to me. Better than that, upgraded, it does about twice the damage of the original handgun, and it has an attachable stock to keep all that firepower stabilised. I have a very different attachment to the revolver in The Evil Within. Sure, it has a huge mag, a 50% crit chance, and very reliable shooting, but more than that, I like how involved it is. It appears in a huge amount of cutscenes, and Sebastian pulls it out on reaction to deal with a lot of the threats he faces. This isn't exclusive to Sebi either. Leon is constantly found reaching for his pistol. Isaac in Dead Space 2 makes his own just like he remembers it. In these characters' moments of need, they on instinct reach for something compact and reliable. In these games that tempt you with double barrels and bolt action rifles, there is a gun that has been with you from day one. A gun that is just as competitive with a bit of love and attention. The handgun will never be as flashy, and that's okay because it is reliable. I know that whatever survival horror I pick up next, the first weapon getting all the upgrades is the one that got me here in the first place.